So hi guys, I'm here today with my beautiful friend Bea, and we will talk about lots of things like spirituality, about Bali, and about our experiences, so stay tuned. Bea, you start.
Yes, so hi, I'm Bea Olaya. I'm a content creator and also I'm an entrepreneur living in Bali. I'm from Spain. That's my brief intro.
Perfect. So let's talk about spirituality. You have some experience with psychedelics, right?
I do. Well, I don't know if that's very connected. You know, spirituality, you can of course be spiritual and not have any experiences with psychedelics. But yeah, I did my whole life. Yeah, I tried some drugs. Basically, that's the.
So tell us about your perception of spirituality and your way of spirituality.
So spirituality for me is like very individual. It's like the way like people live their lives and their thoughts. It's very connected to their beliefs. It's very connected to religion too. So it's like spirituality for me is like a type of religion of the people that don't really have a like a religion or believe in all religions. Because religions are like basically everything is the same. Like Buddhist is the same as Hinduism is the same. Like Christian is like they are based on a God. For me, it's like the universe, it's like the energies, that's what I believe in. People, like everyone believes in different things. There's not a single person that believes in the same exact same thing as another one. So, yes, it's the way people live their lives and their thoughts and beliefs. They way also they want to express themselves and the way that they want to establish connection with what for me would be the universe.
Yeah, true. And how, like, what role does Bali play in your personal relationship with spirituality?
So for me, Bali, it's a country that I feel that the energies are very high. So it gets the best and also like the worst. That we also talked a little bit about chaos, before filming this.
In private.
Yeah. So it is the way that people align themselves. It can be for good, it can be for bad. For me, Bali is a very important place because the energies for me, I feel that are very high. So what it normally would take longer to manifest in my life here in Bali is like in seconds. It's very quick and very instant.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is definitely a high energetic place. Yes, it is definitely a high energetic place. And I feel like if you align with the energy here, it can really create miracles for you. Like everything starts working out in your life and just a beautiful flow. Yes, so let's talk about psychedelics.
Okay.
What did you experience and how did it shape you or change your perception eventually?
Would marijuana count as a psychedelic or no?
Which one?
Marijuana would count as a psychedelic? No. Okay. Because
some people would put it in that
would
category.
Put it in that category. But for me, like that's I know I don't really like that type of drugs. For the ones that I had, so I tried like mushrooms in also. It was a very beautiful experience. I did it 3 times already. No, I
in
did
the same day.
Two times. Not in the same day. In many with years,
Okay.
like
years apart.
Yeah, years apart. The first experience was like nice. I did not really notice anything. I just saw the things as beautiful as they were, because I'm also a very happy person, that I'm also in a very high frequency. So I'm normally not sad. I'm never depressed, So for me, if you try a little bit psychedelics and already your vibration and your energies are very high, you also tend to be a very happy, positive person. It will not do much to you, if you will only just feel it, very beautifully, very calm, very beautiful, everything as it is, as I did. So the second time I did try like a higher dose.
How much approximately?
I have no idea, like the maximum that you could take.
Okay.
There's like small, medium, like big.
Yeah.
I try like the big one. Also, I'm not very big, so like for my body, I had to do something. I'm very tiny. So that experience was very good. Like I also had some visuals, which normally it's with psychedelics is like a little bit more difficult to have. You have to have a higher dose, but for me it was very shiny, very full of colors. I lived the trip like a very how do you say it? Very connected, also very relaxed, because that was also in the state that I was prior to taking them, which is also very important.
Setting.
you're going to like, if you're taking psychedelics for the first time, the setting and your intention and how you feel about the drug is the most important thing, because if you think that you're going to have a bad journey or whatever, it's going to happen. So
and the people you're
don't
with.
do it. And the people you're with, 100%. So yeah, and and the first time I was with a very good friend of mine. The second one I was with my boyfriend, and we were both, you know, in the same wavelength. And yeah, it was very fun. Like I was just like laughing all the time. Like I did not have like any, you know, awakening of things, because I'm also, I think, very awakened in the sense, you know. I also receive insights of things I have to do like normally. I don't need like hallucinogens for that. How do you call it again?
So,
psychedelics for that.
Yeah. So would you say like, I mean, of course you're very intuitive,
Yes.
but would you also say like, do you feel like your third eye is already open and constantly open, or?
Constantly open, no. But I think, you know, like if there's like certain levels of frequencies, you can put the graph here based on top and
I
edit.
won't, because I can't. Yeah, we can imagine.
Okay. So normally, you know, this is the back frequencies of like fear, scare, worry, jealousy, comparison, all the bad energies that normally, you know, it's like you have like the peaceful, the high energy frequencies are normally in the high aspect. I can go, you know, down to like normal, you know, like and just be peaceful. I can go like up to enlightened, you know, like so like I frequency like change around those frequencies, but I never go down or very rarely, and not to the bottom. So and I immediately go up. So yeah, of course, it's also very difficult for me to stay on top, but I do go on top many times.
And what did you experience? Like, you've seen some visuals. What did you see?
Oh, for me, for every person will be very different. But for me, it was I saw like patterns of like also like animals like dancing. It was very beautiful when I just close your eyes. The thing that you normally see black, right? I saw like patterns that were like rotating, like these crystals. It was very beautiful. It was very peaceful, very relaxing. It was like an orchestra in my mind. It was very beautiful.
And did it change you somehow? Did you feel something while you've seen those things?
Yeah, I was feeling like very relaxed, very at peace. Somehow, did it change me? So I think when you try also this type of psychedelics, it like resets your brain, right? So you are able to, like, you have like a smoking addiction or whatever, you can cut through it because it resets your brain. So it's easier for you to not be caught up in those like negative spirals.
Again, yeah.
Yes. So I think it did reflect on me in some ways that I may have needed like to improve, but very like slightly. Literally, it was nothing that I could not have done. Also in like in a very deep meditation, for example, of Joe Dispenza, like 1 hour meditation.
Yeah, that makes sense. And how long is it ago that you took it?
I think it was last year, 2 years ago. I think. Not really.
2 years. And what is your perception right now about like the darkness that also comes with spirituality? Like, have you experienced anything there? Because like I have experienced recently some part of it that I've seen. Actually, there's more than just light and love, right? And there are also like energies that are not good for you. Same like with people. Not everyone has your best interest in heart, by heart, per heart.
Yes.
And yeah, and it was very intense when I seen that.
Yeah.
And what do you feel about the other side?
Yeah, I also think, you know, like there are energies that I like just don't want to be in, but what I don't want to impact me, I just don't focus on. So of course, like when even in normal states, you know, like when your intuition tells you not to do that, or like that person, you know, that doesn't match your energy or whatever, I just don't want to focus on that because I don't want it to give like power and energy, something that I know that is not good for me, or like something that, you know, that doesn't feel right or good. So I just like stay away from it. I don't even like, in my mind, I don't want it to give it even a space or energy to that.
Yeah, because like for example, I took like the insane roots. I took Pufu, I took mushrooms, and I did Temazcal. I don't know how much the Temazcal...
You probably took more drugs than me.
Psychedelics.
I should try ayahuasca, but it didn't do anything to me, so I think it's also...
You tried ayahuasca?
Yeah, I did.
And it didn't do anything
dose,
to you?
No.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah. But it didn't... Like,
but that's so weird, because when I took mushrooms the first time, it also didn't do anything to me. And I feel like only if you really surrender and let go, your mind has the chance to open this door more clearly, and then it starts to work in you.
Maybe, but I was pretty relaxed. I think it's more also on the level of awakeness that you are normally, and the dose that you take for it. You also take a very little dose. When I was trying mushrooms the first time, I used to take very little dose. So for me, it didn't do much. Yeah, and it's interesting because like the third time also that I did mushrooms, I took the same dose as the second time, but also it did not do much for me. Like I was more impacted with the second time.
My theory is like that it doesn't really matter on the doses, but how much you need. And I feel like it gives you what you need, no matter how much.
And maybe you don't
take.
need much also. Like maybe
Or
you're
that.
already enlightened, and you don't need, like a crazy awakening. But as I said, like even me, like meditating, I like even receive more thoughts and knowledge that it sometimes taking like psychedelics, because your brain already has everything, it needs to generate those drugs. The thing is that you have to activate it, and your body knows how to, but you have to keep it calm, concentrated and focused, so it does that, because it naturally is not going to do that, like because it thinks you don't need it. So.
That's true, but I feel like psychedelics are like a shortcut to that.
Yeah,
and that's also the risk with it, because like I feel like the way I see it right now is like you reach the same state with psychedelics which like monks would reach when they meditate for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
But that's the danger with it, because I've heard a lot of people tell me that like they know people who took like bufo, which is like the strongest psychedelic, and they lose their mind. And it makes perfectly sense, because it's like, if you're not prepared for it, if you didn't work for it, and you start to see shit and you start to realize things, like it can really, it's like I take everything you believe about the world and rip it apart from you. So it leaves you completely open and completely
That's why you have to be
shredded.
you have to have a certain level of enlightenment, and the purpose that you take it should be a good one, because if not, you can have very like consequences, that you said.
True, and I feel like you need to already be a pretty strong personality in order to be able to integrate it. Because, for example, after all my whole
strong-minded, strong like
or both. In the best case. After Mexico, when I came back to Bali, like I felt like still very open, because that's the thing. Like some girls, she explained it to me, like when you take psychedelics, like you have your auras, right?
Yes.
And you have some protection around it. And with psychedelics, you open all of that up. So you don't know how to close this door to the other world again. And I've experienced that, because I started to see like visions, even though I wasn't taking anything. And it started to become
how far apart was it when you started experimenting visions and you were not on the effects?
Honest, it started with meditation, because I meditated and all of a sudden I saw eyes in my meditation, and I checked what it means, and ChatGPT told me it means like when your awareness becomes aware of itself. So
that's cool.
I feel like since I took ayahuasca, which was 2 years ago, I always was very visual. So when I meditated, I always had visions. But now after bufo, which ripped me open even more, I couldn't stop it anymore, which was creepy, because like I tried to sleep and I started to see like, especially I started to see shadow figures and like really not nice stuff that nobody wants to see. And then whenever I did like sound healing, it opened that portal even more. So I didn't know what to do, because it was too much for me, right? I mean, I was not scared. You never get more than you can handle, but still I didn't know how to close that door again. So I went to a healer here and helped. Thanks God, like he helped me and he gave me this, and it's fine now. But it was interesting for me to see that there is so much more than the light and the love and the feeling of happiness. And yes, it was a big realization simply. And also like, I mean, it makes sense, where there is a lot of light, there is also some darkness attracted to it. But that's why I think it's super important to be very careful with all of it. And who you trust.
And also be comfortable. So like what you said, the environment's super important because of it.
True. Because I feel like you really need to be a strong person to handle all that shit.
No, 100%. You should like have background of like meditation stuff. Yeah, because if not, it can shock you. Like, what the fuck is this? And your brain does not have time and energy to assimilate like what the
Yes.
You're very confused.
So I don't think it's for everyone. And what about the meditation? Like, do you have visuals when you meditate?
So when it depends of like how much time do I meditate, like the setting and everything. Normally meditations, like for me, visuals, it's more like I have visions in meditation because I trying to manifest certain fields, so I visualize it awareness. It's not like things that come up in my mind. But sometimes like ideas comes in my mind. I'm super creative. Maybe I just, if I meditate with an intention of solving an issue, then in the meditation I would have ideas of how to solve it. So I think it's like a tool, you know. It's like what we said. What is your purpose going into the meditation? It's just to be relaxed. It's like to have I don't know, like to go out of your body, you know, and to have like out of body experience. Like, what is your intention? Choose one, because probably you will have so many things. I want to feel better. I want this money to come to me. You know, just one. Choose one that you want to focus on that, because if you have many things, maybe the energy is dispersed. And then just sit down meditating and don't go up until you really feel that you're done with it, you know. Because sometimes, you know, I'm in a rush, maybe it's taking very long. No, don't think about the time. Just solve, or, you know, pay attention to whatever you want to visualize or create or manifest or whatever. And then when you really think, you know, you're done, you go through all the phases, then you can only stand up.
I had recently someone tell me to not go too deep into spirituality because it can get really dark. What do you think about that?
I think it depends on the person. Like maybe she doesn't have to go deep into spirituality, because maybe for that person it can get very dark. But if you know how to manage it, it should not be your case, you know.
Yeah, true. I feel like you have a very practical way how you integrate your spirituality, and this is very good because it's super grounded.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Bali.
Okay.
I mean, the energy I think we agreed on is very nurturing here, like a mom. But I also feel like you need to match the energy in order to be welcomed here by Bali.
Yeah.
And
I also think you have to put the feet in the ground, because, you know, many people come here like to disconnect of their lives, and I don't think that's also a good purpose, because life's still going on, you know. And so many people, you know, here just like relax, you know, and like my energy here is also the fact of working, you know, because I also work here, so it's not also like relax. I have my energy is very balanced, you know. Whenever I need to relax, I relax, but I can also work because that's the field that I am in. So that's also what I like about Bali. But many people, you know, if you just want to come here to disconnect, it's okay. Like, of course you can do that, but long term it doesn't work like that, because the things might come out.
And what do you feel personally about, you know, there are a lot of spiritual people here, also a lot of spiritual blenders. Like blenders, like people who pretend to be something they're not.
Okay.
So what would you like, I don't know, how do you feel about that, and how would
Fake
you...
guru.
Yeah, exactly. And how would you make sure personally for people who really try to find themselves to like not fall into any of their traps?
Yeah, I think people just listen more to themselves than to people. You know, it's like when you see a fake news, don't believe everything that you see. You know, you have to, do you really think this is true? Do you really think it's not true? Like, how do you feel in your heart? What does your intuition say? You know, and of course, like, don't believe everything like people say. Don't believe everything that you see. You know, just trust a little bit your gut. Do a little bit of research also. You know, the background of that person. You know, like the story also of that person, you know, like you will notice in the vibe.
I also feel like some people, they search spirituality in order to find a new group where they can, you know, feel seen.
Yes.
And that I need it, but for them it's less personal, but more to have like a new
social
cult
space.
Social space and cult, you know, which is not healthy at all. Because like I also agree that spirituality is the most personal thing you can do.
Yeah.
And also, in my opinion, like my psychedelic experience, they were the most human experience I ever had. Because and I feel like it is a little bit going in a wrong direction, because so many people, you know, they tell you like it's like that and you need to do it like that, and I'm the one who knows it all, and like I feel like these are the people who know nothing, right?
And also, like, you know, like you don't resonate with all the people. You know, maybe it can be like the most perfect guru, but if you don't resonate with him, just don't resonate with him. You know, you have to choose someone that, you know, like you match with the energies and you think they will contribute to your life. You know, not because also someone is good, that means that it's good for you.
That's true. And you know, one point I find super important, because like a lot of people who don't take it that seriously, they go on some journey or do something, or like do psychedelics, but they don't do anything with that. And I feel like the purpose why you should go on a psychedelic journey, if you feel like it, is to change your life or to actually embody it, you know?
You can also just go for the fact of, you know, like experiencing another thing, you know, like without, like you don't have to have like high expectations, you know, but at least, you know, you go with the purpose already of, you know, exploring or whatever.
And use your purpose in the end to actually make a difference. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, or be more kind, or, you know, be better with yourself, love yourself more, you know, whatever. Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, embodiment is the most important anyways. Because also I feel like a lot of people, they might get lost into it, you know? They're only spiritual, only that. Like they lose themselves into it, and which is weird because it's the purpose to find yourself.
I think, spirituality has to be like, you know, not the purpose, but the way, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to be, I want to be very spiritual. No, like you have to, you know, like you have to have your purpose outside of spirituality, and then, you know, combine it with the spirituality.
True.
Like you can also become a Buddha monk, and that is, you know, like the main, you know, purpose of your life. But like if you want to contribute to the world, you know, like even if you're the best Buddha, you're like it's not of help if you don't impact people, you know.
True.
Like you have to share your knowledge, you have to share your vision, you have to share, you know, you have to contribute also with the world in a way, because if not, the purpose is kind of a little bit empty, and even like a little bit like, you know, selfish, you know, all to you, but you don't give, you know. So
that's true.
Yeah, and you know, the realization purpose is when you help other people. So even though you're the most spiritual person, if you don't impact and help other people, like it's not really.
That's true.
Yeah. So the recommendations here, one, if you do drugs or psychedelics, be very aware of what you're doing, with who you're doing, your environment. Don't do it just because you know, like you have to have an inner purpose of it. Also be very careful of, you know, where that psychedelic comes from and stuff, because also there's many things that are already modified and stuff that are not good for you nor your body. So be very careful and mindful. What else? More recommendations?
No matter what you see, trust your feeling. It's probably true. And also, no matter what you experience, you can always get out of it. So you're never stuck, no matter what happens. And if you have the intention to find the right people for it, or people who help you, you'll find them. And also, like, I mean, we're about embodiment, right? Embodiment about the spirituality. So don't stay stuck in the clouds. Like, don't just float. Come back and like do something with it, no matter what kind of insights you had. And I mean,
if you want also a guru for spirituality, make sure you resonate with him. Make sure about, you know, like the feedback, the background of that person, that you really know him, you know, and you match with him. Because there's also some like many fake spiritual guys, or persons that have a lot of ego or whatever, that will not make you grow that much. So yeah.
But I also feel like it's so important to go this way of spirituality, because it changes you completely and it gives you so much empowerment. And I feel like there's so much suffering in the world that is not necessary, because I feel like people suffer because they forgot, you know, and people suffer because they don't know there's so much more than what they believe they are. And that's why I feel like so important that you trust yourself, you find your own way to spirituality or the light or whatever you want to call it, because you can change your whole life and you don't need to suffer. So yeah.
And also people also normally suffer because they want to, because they're only focused on the bad things and the suffering and the negatives. Like even though even if you don't have anything, you already have something because you're alive. So
very Buddhist point of view.
Yeah, but it is true, you know, like you see it in like developed countries versus poor countries, you know, like the children, it might be bored, you know, playing like video games, whatever, like, you know, not be very kind with their families. And then in some other countries, they just don't have anything and they're just playing with whatever they find, and they're so happy, so joyful. So even though if you don't have anything, you already have something. And you see value the little things, that you can get joy from life for the little stupid things. So just value it and not take it for granted. And you know, the more you focus on the good, the more good you'll find, and the more good you will attract. So.
But also, I feel like you can only be truly joyful when you're truly yourself, you know? Because like as long as you're covering up with, I don't know, some identities you want to be or who you think you are, like I feel like joy comes when you're truly yourself, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we're both very joyful beings. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like spirituality helps you, like dismantling yourself, finding back to your true self and putting more light there and shining more. From
Yeah,
your
and also
true
you
self.
can be super lost like in spirituality, but then that's the thing. You have to be lost to find yourself,
Oh,
and
yeah.
to find what you like and who you are. Like this is a stupid example, but I just see like the pictures of my 17-year-old self, and I was like, why I was wearing that? It doesn't even match me. Like now, for example, even for clothes, it's like for everything. I just find whatever I like, whatever fits comfortable, the colors that I like more, the colors that don't vibe with. But it's the same with everything. With environment, the people, everything. So
I really liked what you said, like you have to be lost to find yourself. It's so true because like it doesn't matter which topic you go in, it's really getting chaotic. And do you know about the hero's journey?
no, what is
So basically it's something that people describe when they go this long, difficult, like
Okay.
Odyssey,
what is it?
and from Greek. Anyways,
Okay.
like when they go this long
Odyssey,
way,
yes,
yeah,
Spanish,
when they go back to themselves, and it's like hard and it's chaotic and it's like struggle, and then in the end, you make it. And
Yeah.
I feel like I want more people to go on their own hero's journey.
Yeah, everybody is dealing with their own shit. Even we don't see it like psychologically now. Like so many illness are like even psychological, they're not even physical. And some physical illness can be healed with psychology. So it's kind of like the word is connected between the mind and the body. So I think we have to align. And that's the way. Like spirituality is the way.
True. We are the way. So let us know your thoughts in the comment section and go on your own spiritual journey, but listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.